Dynamic, articulate, perceptive, courageous, outspoken.
Welcome back to the dojo. Once again, we got another one, another reaction, and it's a streamer named Fanum, and he's going to explain why streaming is effed now. I thought it was effed because of all the agendas people be promoting, all that homosexuality, degenerate activity, debauchery, sexual deviancy. You know what I mean? You gotta do all these things to be a popular streamer nowadays, like Kai Cenat and I Show Speed. But streaming's been fucked. It's been fucked. Once people started taking deals, once people started promoting agendas, once people started sacrificing their morals and values just for content, yeah, streaming became fucked. But I would definitely like to hear from someone who's a popular streamer. I would love to hear their point of view on why they think it's messed up now. So let's go ahead and get into this. This is on Hello Yassine Extras channel. Hello Yassine Extras. So let's go ahead and get into this.
What's poppin', y'all? Fanum, founding member of AMP and the guy that discovered Kai Cenat and brought him into streaming and brought him into AMP, let him live at their house while he was still, at the time, in the hood at his mom's apartment with the rat or the mouse flying through in the background. He decided to explain why, in several clips, streaming is just screwed now from when he first came into the game. And while he may not be a streaming, well, he is definitely not an OG in the streaming space, he has seen the evolution of it just from when he got in. So I'm going to play you guys this first clip of him just mocking current gen streamers, and then we're going to get into the more somewhat serious stuff in a second.
Chat, yo, this how streamers think, this how the streamers be now. Look. Yo, chat, I gotta take a piss, chat. Should I pee now or later? Chat, should I just pee now or later, chat? Chat, I gotta pee. Should I pee now or should I just hold it? Should I hold it or should I just pee now? Now? Alright, bet. Chat, should I run or should I just walk to the bathroom?
Here, this real.
So he's saying they just ask the chat every little decision they gonna make. So they just ask the chat. Well, I mean, I guess when you're trying to entertain people all day and you don't really know what to say, you just say the first thing that comes to your mind and you want to ask them a question. If that's what streaming is, then why are people even doing it? Why are people even watching if that's what streaming is? Because people bored, bro. All the media that we get to watch today is just trash. That's why so many people watch anime. Like, that's why so many people are on anime now, because anime is actually live. That shit be real, man. It should be more real than real life sometimes, bro. It be taking you over the top. That's why I indulge in anime, but, like, I don't watch streamers. I don't even really stream myself. I stream video games from time to time. So you got something to interact with outside of just me. Like, you can see the game that I'm playing. And I like to play older games when I'm streaming. I like to play older games that I probably didn't get to play in my childhood, or I never got to finish in my childhood. That's usually what I do on my streams. I like to play old games. Old classic games. All this DLC nonsense, like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, let's hear what Fanum gonna say, man.
Really makes me think of Neon, other than anybody else that I can think of off the top of my head. Because Neon was somebody, especially in the maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, 2023, certainly, he was just somebody that was absolutely run by his chat. And I do think that's the drawback of some of these streamers blowing up as teenagers, is that you're a teenager and you're getting real-time feedback and peer pressure from thousands of people watching you, and you have this urge. You also haven't really grown into yourself yet, whereas like YouTube, it was a different story. But a lot of these people, like Fanum, for instance, they were grown by the time they got into streaming, so they don't have this like, yo, should I do this, chat? Should I do this? And it's trying to get interactions and engagement from the chat, but a lot of them are seriously like this. However, he goes and talks about the epidemic or pandemic or whatever you want to call it of clipping culture, and this is something that I've wanted to touch on for quite a while, but I just haven't had the right spark to hit on it. I didn't know on what topic I would do it, so I think today's a good video for it. So I'm gonna play you guys the clip first.
Nah, I don't even think they be trying to force beef. I think people trying to get their clips, get their views, get their fucking numbers up. Yeah, that's really what it is, bro. This whole shit is, bro, it's this a competition, my nigga. Throughout, all the way throughout. You know what I'm saying? This shit switched, my nigga. Even it's down to the clipping nigga, bro. Even the Clippers is in competition. Word to my everybody, bro. I'm telling you, gang. Like, certain shit is facts. Other shit is cat. Certain shit is dead facts, though. No bullshit, chat. The Clip niggas is going hard, trying to see, all right, who could rage bait the hardest? Who could rage bait the hardest? All right, who could get out the clip faster? All right, you know what I'm saying? But you know what it is, though? That's just how it is. It's facts. Everybody's spitting facts. It is what it is. You dead can't say nothing, though. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the game is now. The game is always evolving. It's either you adapt or you die, my heart. Real simple, bro. If a nigga get caught up in anything, what's a smart move to do, chat? You gotta shut the fuck up. You gotta backpedal. You gotta say something else. You gotta switch it up real quick. You know what I'm saying? See, me, that's why I ain't gonna lie. That's why my I don't go nowhere, chat. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I don't even share my streams. No bullshit. Don't believe me. Go on my gram right now. Go check if I shared my stream. I don't even share my live. Man. I just click go live, man. Dead ass. For what? You going mad hard, bro. It's too much. It's too much animosity. It's mad shit going on. They said y'all ruined streaming. How did I ruin streaming? Then? How? Be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. How did I ruin streaming? How? If you tell me how I end stream right now, or if you tell me how I did that shit, I end stream. Oh God, I end stream.
Shit, I got one for you. I definitely got one for you. I think this the same guy. I think this is the same guy that had an event on his stream where he said he was going to shave his balls on stream. I think he's the guy who said that he was going to shave his balls live on stream. Like, that type of shit is the shit I'm talking about. That degenerate shit, bro. If he did that, or even if he didn't do it on stream, just the fact that you saying that shit, people gonna click it as clickbait. The inauthenticity has ruined streaming. Doing things that you know you're not gonna do, or doing things that are outlandish and just over the top to get views. Saying stuff like that too. Like, that ruins streaming because it's not an authentic experience no more. You're trying to put on a show for people who you don't know, instead of just being your authentic self and people tuning in because they like what you're saying or they like what you're doing. That's my take on it. I don't know how true or not I am because I don't really watch streaming. But I keep hearing about people doing degenerate shit on stream or talking about crazy things. Like the Hassan Piker dude. Like, he's always pushing an envelope with what he says on stream about politics. You know what I mean? So just the whole trying to put on a show thing instead of just being yourself. I think that's what's ruining streaming. All the antics and extra stuff and having people doing collabs who don't really even like each other, but we know that you got an audience, I got an audience. Let's come together and see how big of the audience we can make, or see how many viewers I can take from you and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really a streamer like that, so I don't really know what's the ins and outs. I just watch a couple of streamers, but I don't watch their streams. I watch their YouTube clips. You see what I'm saying? Streaming is for like the younger generation, and I think the people who realized that, they realized that they were streaming to younger viewers and they catered their content around that. You know what I mean? Young kids, they like to see things being pushed to the envelope, pushed to the max. They not reserved, or they don't even know who they are enough to realize what they really like. You know what I mean? But that's just my take. I don't know, because I don't really stream like that and I don't watch streams.
Nigga, where's my mother? There's no way I did that. They said A&P, but you can't. I'm still A&P, right? So you can't say that because I'm still A&P. You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't just say you can't say that, gang. You know, feel me? I don't care if niggas talk shit, because I don't lie. One thing about me, and some of my do not like that about me, though. I ain't gonna care. But one thing I appreciate is a good hater. You gotta appreciate a good hater, chat. A nigga that know how to hate, fire. A good shit talker, I could appreciate a good talker, chat. Like, damn, like, you really have to think about that. You know what I'm saying? I like the D1 haters. I got, you feel me? I do. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry. That's just me personally. I am like that.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. When I see hate on my channel, I'll be like, okay, I ruffled some feathers. I got somebody to say something because it's engagement, bro. I make YouTube videos, and when people hate on my videos or they hate something I'm talking about, I'm like, okay, either I struck a nerve or I posted something that's controversial. It's going to do numbers. People going to watch it. People going to tune in. People going to listen for this part. People going to see what I had to say in response to it. Like, I like that. You need to have people, you know what I mean? You need to have some type of abrasiveness with your audience so you can see what it is that you messing up with. You can see how to get better. Iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? You want to be challenged. You know what I mean? And your audience will challenge you if they don't like what you're doing or they don't like what you're saying. So you got to be able to deal with people online who have the mask of anonymity, who can say whatever they want. You know what I mean? So when you get love, it's genuine love. When you get hate, it's genuine hate. They really don't like your ass. So I can respect what he's saying in that aspect because you actually get a full picture of what's going on from the outside world. You getting real feedback, and I love that, man. I definitely do. I'm gonna take me a quick little break and we'll be back. You're not even gonna realize I'm gone. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into this. That took me a little break. Now I'm ready to see what he's really talking about.
I like that, but I don't know, bro. I'll be laughing off a lot of shit. I'm gonna give it a buck. Soundboard not working. Let's see.
I'm going to break down a little bit of history here. So clipping goes back very, very far. You can go back to plug channels on YouTube, but if we're going to talk specifically on short form content clipping, in particular for streamers or influencers, Andrew Tate was that guy for it. What Andrew Tate did was he had this group of people in like Hustlers University or whatever, and he said, hey, you guys can make money by clipping my stuff on TikTok. And you guys clip my stuff, he gave them all of the materials, all of the interviews, etc., and they would start clipping it up, and a lot of his stuff was talking about, oh, this is how you make money, this is how you make money, and then they would have a link which would give them a commission on everything that was sold. So the incentive here was the money that they were going to gain via product being sold, and they had already bought the product as well. So that's where that came from. After that, Sneeko was the first one to follow up on this. And what Sneeko did was he already had a big audience that really just messed with him for him. And he started streaming, and then he just started encouraging people to clip stuff and saying that they would make money. And I think they were making money from like the TikTok creativity program. So he was like, yo, you're gonna get views. And he was just copying Tate's like talking points, saying crazy stuff at the time, and he was blowing up. So people were doing this for Sneeko. They were making some money off of it, or they were at least like clouding up off of it and getting these pages to a certain amount of follower counts. So that's how that would be the first two. Then it opened the floodgates. A lot of other people started doing it, but Sneeko's editor at the time, Musa, he was one of those people that started posting these clips of, hey, I make $15K a month and this is my routine. I just go to CapCut and I clip up Kai Cenat or a famous streamer. I post it on TikTok. I get these views and this is how much money I'm making. And he pushed that heavy. So now all these teenagers are seeing that guy. I'll try to insert a clip of like the Musa ad, if you want to call it that, or the video that he would recreate a lot of the time if I can find it. But that brought a whole generation of kids to say like, yo, I'm watching these guys anyway. I can just clip them and make money off of it. All right.
Oh, okay. I see what went down. Clipping has become, there's been an epidemic of clipping because people think they can make a living just off cutting clips. You know what I mean? Some people did it, but now that the market is saturated, you got competition. You got a lot of competition because there's a lot of people trying to make it out of that way. Until it becomes a full-on business where they're hiring the average person to clip things. Like, it's not gotten there yet. It's still a wide open venue. But I see because of this example, now I'm seeing what Fanum is talking about, the clips and the competition and stuff like that. It's a dog-eat-dog world. And everybody's trying to get the best clips. And they're trying to do it the fastest. So there's going to be people who overlook certain things. You know what I mean? Like, it's become a business now. Just clipping content. It's become a business. So instead of making your own content, you just clip people who already have a big following, and that's how you'll gain followers and an audience. But you're going to be stuck doing that. You can't branch out and do anything else because the only reason why people came to see you or your channel was because of those clips. And when you stop posting those clips, people aren't going to tune in. So you get locked in the content that you're clipping, and you can never clip anything else because it's not going to do the numbers. Yeah. And you make your whole life existence about clipping this person's life and their interviews and stuff like that. Like, bro, that's boring as hell. Like, we gotta find a better way to the bag. You know what I mean? You gotta find a better way to the bag. You gotta find an authentic way to the bag. And everybody's not trying to do that. They just gonna take whatever works and do that until it's dead. That's how it works. That's how most people don't have the creative faculties to put shit together or to comment, you know what I mean, on certain things and to talk about it at length. So they just clip. They just grab clips. They watch. Because they watching the streams anyway. You heard what the guy was saying. They watch the streams anyway, so that's what they do. But because I don't watch streams, I can bring you this information or give you this insight because I'm not watching streams. I'm trying to create a platform where people clip my shit. I'm trying to get to that place. I'm not there yet. So we got to keep working. So let's continue.
Right, so then we're in this new era. And what happens after this period of time is a lot of them start getting claimed. So if they were uploading on YouTube, things like that, YouTube stopped monetizing channels that were just regurgitated content. So if you
see, like I said, you get locked in that content and now you don't even get any views on your shit because it's not what they came to see. When you create an expectation or a brand, people come back to your channel for that main thing that is associated with your brand. So if you make a brand off of Sneeko, you're going to have to always follow what Sneeko's doing and hope that he does something viral so you can get some views. Or he says something crazy or outlandish so people click and tune in. And then your shit's getting claimed down the road. So it don't seem like a good way to go. It just seemed like this ain't the way.
You weren't Sneeko, but you were posting Sneeko clips, you weren't going to get monetized. So the incentive wasn't there because for people that were clipping like a Kaisen ad or something, it wasn't Andrew Tate where they were getting sales off of a product and they got commissioned that way. They only got it from the monetization on the views. This is where it comes in that people started paying streamers because they realized the value of, or streamers started paying clippers because they realized the value of a clipper. Because if a clipper can take good clips from their stuff, or many clippers, an army of them, then they can spread it everywhere and they will in turn be more famous, more popular, and people will transfer to their streams. Some people did this on their own, like Jinxie, for example. He was a streamer that just clipped up his own stuff on his own page, and he grew that way. And then clippers started doing it for him, but I don't think he paid. But certain individuals, I'm not going to put their names out there, they started to create like clipping services or Discords where they would charge people and be like, hey, for this amount of money, or we'll pay you for this amount of views that you get as a clipper. Neon was one of the first people to do this. Aiden Ross, he used to buy these clipping pages or these streamer pages and say like, yo, you're just posting Aiden Ross stuff now. So now we're in this new era. And then the era gets even crazier because now it's not that it's saturated, but more people are recognizing the opportunity of clipping. What happens when gambling companies get banned off of Twitch and they're advertising everywhere else, they start reaching out to these clipping pages, in particular on Twitter and even on Instagram. And they're like, okay, you guys are getting this many impressions and views, put our logo. This is why in damn near every single clip of a streamer that you see on a Clippers page, there is some sort of a crypto casino plastered on there. That's because these guys are getting a ton of views. So it goes back to, they can't make money off of AdSense because it's regurgitated content. They may not be getting paid as much from the streamers, right? And then now what's going to pay them the most is the gambling. So the more views and impressions they can get for this gambling sponsor, the more money that they're going to get paid. So now, what is the incentive for the Clippers? The Clippers' incentive is to get the best clips possible that are going to and by best, it means what's going to generate the most engagement, the most views, the most comments, the most replies, in particular on Twitter. And
that's usually controversial topics and discussions. Yeah, I know. Controversial topics and discussions, stuff that make people say, what? No way. Yeah, that's what gets clicks and views. Especially when they put it in a thumbnail. They got a subtitle in the thumbnail that don't have nothing to do with what the video is about. But people gonna click it because of the thumbnail. It's all marketing, bro. It's all marketing. How marketable are you? And can you market my clips to a wider audience? It's all marketing. I see it.
what does that? Rage bait content. So stoking beef, stoking the flame of things like that. And the more Clippers recognize these opportunities, Clippers have to get more creative with headlines. Think about them like Clippers now, I would say, are the equivalent of the National Enquirer or a TMZ. So if you guys are unfamiliar, the National Enquirer was the best, I believe it was the best-selling magazine for years upon years. And people were embarrassed to say that they read it. But it was still, no one would say, the meme was, there wasn't even a meme back then. But the joke was that nobody reads the National Enquirer, but everybody reads the National Enquirer because nobody admits it, but how was it still the number one best-selling? But the National Enquirer was known for having headlines that were just salacious headlines based on celebrities. And then TMZ, of course, is the online version. National Enquirer used to be like at the grocery store checkout line, things like that. TMZ became the digital version of that. You could say Perez Hilton at the same time too. And a lot of people, they just trashed TMZ for many, many years. It's like, yo, TMZ's trash, yet TMZ's still here. And yeah, now the modern day...
Yeah, people can say it's trash, but they still tuning in to watch that trash because they like that trash. You like to see that somebody else's life is not as good as yours, or their life is falling apart, and it's good to watch because you feel better about your situation. That's all celebrity gossip is for. That's all it's for. It's just so you can feel better about yourself because you don't have to go through the bullshit that they're going through. I understand that completely. That's why people watch TMZ, and that's why people bought the National Enquirer, because people want to know this nonsense is going on in other people's lives without having to ask them directly. So that's what the newspaper and tabloids is for. People are curious because they got shitty lives. They want to see how shit your life is so they can feel better.
Celebrity, really, for the kids, is not so much a TV star or a movie star or maybe even a singer. It's a streamer or a content creator or a YouTuber. And these Clippers are the TMZ of that. So they're creating the salacious headlines, except they're getting paid from, instead of advertisers, these gambling sponsors. And now they're incentivized to create crazy headlines, and they're probably getting paid as well by streamers. So they're making money from many different angles. They're making money from upcoming streamers that want to get paid to get posted on their page. They're making money by piggybacking off of the popularity of the big streamers and using those headlines to get more impressions. And hey, if beef is happening, that means more views for them. But it's crazy because streamers were competing, right, for viewership, and now Clippers are competing for that same, not the same viewership, but they're also competing for viewership amongst each other because they each have like a gambling sponsor and they just want to be known as the best Clipper, because if they're the best Clipper, then everyone's just going to go watch them. So we've got a full-on industry building right before our eyes. I don't know if the word beautiful is the right word to use, but it's something to marvel at, that's for certain. And it's only developing quicker, and Fanum is right, where he's like, yo, if you cannot adapt fast enough, you're cooked. Now, a lot of these streamers that have been here for a long time, they'll always stay at their level but they're just not going to gain new viewers, and not everybody wants that. But if somebody wants to stay at the top of streaming, they have to be up on all of these things. They have to be spending money on Clippers, it's so funny to me when people are just like, yo, this person didn't spend any money on clipping. Okay, yeah, he just blew up just like that. Okay, good. Well, some people do blow up, but I'm in particular talking about a certain streamer that, yeah, he for sure shelled out a marketing bag, just like artists do for their albums, to get everybody to talk about it. And then once you get lit enough, enough that your name brings in views, that's when you don't really have to pay for clipping as much because the reward shifts. So they're getting more reward talking about you than you are getting from paying them to talk about you. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
Okay. We got a rough idea of why streaming is messed up now. We got a rough idea. It wasn't very concrete or very in-depth. He just giving examples of why it's messed up nowadays because of the saturated market and people doing all types of clips and whatnot. Let's see if there's anything we can gain from looking at the comments. Chat, should I breathe, chat? That was the first comment. Oh, man. I see what TJ says is no amount of money can make you want to wake up every day and let 100,000 people control your life. It's longer than a 9 to 5. It has to be a mind-rotting job. Yup, I can agree with that. I could definitely agree with that. That makes a lot of sense. And then Heya 1447 says Fanum doing what most of our immigrants' parents always want to do. Make my bread, build my crib, in my home country, then leave. Okay. I feel you. Fanum isn't a streaming OG necessarily, but he's an OG content creator. He's had a decent audience size for more than a decade. Okay. I don't really know much about Fanum. I just see him in the headlines every now and again. Let's see. Okay. Real J Nice. Fanum already made his money and built his house back in Dominican Republic and got his businesses. Fanum doesn't really care about this streaming stuff no more. There's a reason Fanum has been calling out a lot of the fake behavior from other streamers and getting away from them slowly. You know, people aren't your real friends if they just look at you as someone they just wanted to get clips from. Okay. What it says, PJ 007. What is that, 0007? Yeah, that's 0007. I'm not even clocked in yet. Yassine, hold up a sec, damn. Okay, he just wondering how fast you're posting. SYE 149. It's insane how this is happening with every medium these days. The movie business, the music business, the business, the business, etc. is all getting saturated and squeezing out every ounce till there's no originality or creativity left. All in the name of capital gain. The sad part is Fanum is right, and this is just the life we live now. You just gotta accept it and adapt for real. Yeah, life is kind of bullshit. Okay, let's see what else. I'm a Duke Dennis's plug. Fanum always keeps it real. He doesn't hold his tongue for anyone. Always say what's on his mind. That's what makes him unique to me. He's just being him. Most people have to play a character to make it, but he was always himself. I can respect that. Fanum is the realest out of the group, period. I don't really, rock with the streamers like that. I watch the clips when they come past, but I'm not really big on streamers. I'm making content, and I hope my content does numbers at some point, but that's all I'm doing. I'm just being me. I don't know who else to be when I'm making content, so I just do this. I just do me. But yeah, we pretty much done here. The video's over. We understand a little bit more why streaming is effed now. But I'm thinking that streaming is not the way to go nowadays. It's already oversaturated. You just gotta be content creating and then become a streamer. If that's what you want to do, you gotta create content. But yeah, I am done here. So Professor Hawk signing out. Hawk Sensei bids you adieu. I hope you enjoyed this reaction, guys. Toodaloo.